So you should see my screen on the Google Meet right now. I just want to refresh some of the software things. Remember, we're using Pixlr.com. And then if you would like to add some of the PNG files that I added right before spring break, remember there's this PNG files assignment. Here, I can actually move it up so that it's at the top of the resources. That will give you a Google Drive folder to get into with a lot of PNGs that I have already saved. I also put in a couple of different websites for gathering pictures. I don't know whether or not the district internet will allow you to use the sites, but hopefully while you're home, your home internet allows you to use them. If you click into the Google Drive folder that says PNGs, you should see a folder button up at the top. I can't see it on my screen because I already have this folder on my Google Drive. But if you go into the folder, give me just a second, let me look up something that's been shared with me. So if I look up something that's been shared with me, see how I see this little add to Google Drive button up at the top? If you click on that, it should add that whole folder to your Google Drive, and then you'll be able to simply go into image, add image as layer. So it's actually the layer button, not the image button. Add image as layer, and you should be able to find on the Google Drive that PNGs folder. Remember, a PNG file is going to save that picture with everything that's erased in the background as transparent. So if I take, let's say, this purple lights photo and I open it, you'll see that it doesn't have anything in the bottom part. It's like someone already went through with this scissors tool and erased that part of the picture. You can resize these, you can adjust them however you need to. If you decide you don't like that, you can either press delete on your keyboard or you can go up to these three little bars and say that you want to delete this layer. You can always add a different layer. So remember, to add a picture to this picture, we're going up to layer, add image as layer, and then picking something to add into it. Again, you don't have to use these PNGs. I just thought that it would be helpful for some of you. I know that the district blocks a lot of things. So I'm hoping to get some different PNGs that you can experiment with, even if the district isn't allowing you to download a lot of them yourself. Some of the PNGs, so like this cloud, for example, you can see that on the right-hand side here, it's even somewhat see-through, so it already is starting to look like a cloud, just putting it in my picture. I won't have to worry about erasing a lot of the background. A lot of that work is already done for me ahead of time. You can still go through, let's say you want to erase part of this cloud to make it look like it's behind the tree. You could still get this scissors tool. Remember, we have the add to mask and remove from mask button and all these different tools up here. Let's say maybe I want to use my lasso mask. Zoom into where I want, and then I can draw. Remember, if it's drawing in red, that's going to remove from that picture. You can also adjust the feather. Let's say I want it to be a more smooth transition. I want to set that feather up pretty high, and then that has a smoother transition from one to the other, and it starts to look like it's actually a real cloud in the picture. Again, to get to these, I use this PNGs folder that's posted on Google Classroom. I made sure I just click this add to my drive button. Otherwise, you could always just download the picture and place it in your document from there. So if I take one of these pictures and I download it, I can always drag and drop that picture. I want to add to my current document, and that's going to add that picture in. So multiple ways you can drag and drop into this. You can go up to the layer and add image as layer. Then when you're done, remember that you need to go up to File, Save. Make sure you're clicking over to this PXZ. And then I noticed when we got back from break that they added this non-destructive. Make sure you click yes to non-destructive and then click download. And also remember, when this downloads, you need to show it in your folder and drag it into your Google Drive. Don't just leave this in your downloads. Remember, if you do not save it to your Google Drive, it probably will not be there in the future. Also, if you're saving it as anything other than a PXD or a PXZ, you will not be able to adjust it in the future. So make sure that you're saving it as either a PXD if that comes up, or a PXZ. If you save it as a JPEG, it will show up like a flat photograph. If you save it as a PNG, anything that you've erased in the background will still be transparent, but all of the layers will be merged into one layer. And if you save it as a WebP, it will be flat like a photograph also. Make sure that you're always clicking this PXZ while you're still working on your picture, and also click this non-destructive to make sure that it saves all the layers exactly how you have them.